If you're interested in going on an adult-only cruise by Virgin Voyages, then watch this video because we're gonna go through a step-by-step tutorial on how to book a Virgin Voyages cruise. So I've been on 2. I have one upcoming next month, which I'm super excited about, but I think it's very important to know how to book it, especially if it's your first time. So before I get into how to book it, I always recommend you booking with a first mate. I book my Virgin Voyages cruises with Bridget Flowers. She is one of the top 10 first mates at Virgin Voyages, and she has been for 2 consecutive years. So the first mate is essentially a Virgin Voyages travel agent. They know everything about the ship. But let's go ahead and get into how to book your Virgin Voyage. Okay, so here is the home page, and like I said, I book with Bridget, so it'll show that she's on the booking. That way she can check on it, you know, let me know of any updates whenever there's an upgrade available or anything. She has all that information. So as you can see, Virgin Voyages goes to, you know, a few different places. The most popular obviously being the Caribbean. And so let's just say we're gonna go in December of this year. So they have a few ships. So you can see right here, you can change the amount of sailors. They can filter by the cabin type, Insider, Sea View, Sea Terrace, Rockstar, and Mega Rockstar. They make it very simple with Virgin Voyages compared to other cruise lines where there's only so many types of rooms. So it really is nice. And then of course you can put the duration and then your price range and then ships. So there are 4 ships. The 4th ship has not sailed yet. It sails this September. And so that one is gonna have a maiden voyage in New York City. And so that one is gonna go to Bermuda. So right now we're just gonna not filter by the ship because honestly, all the ships are the same. Brilliant Lady is the only one that's gonna have some more updates with a new restaurant and other offerings. So this one's a very good itinerary because it's the new ship and it goes to some unique places that is not your typical Bahamas or Jamaica. This one is also another good one. It goes out of San Juan. So let's just say for conversation's sake, we're gonna book this one the week after Thanksgiving, which I recommend going on a cruise this week because the price will be lower and everyone should be back at work and school. So right here on this right side, you can see how many sailors will be in the cabin. You can put 1 through 4 and then you can check I need an accessible cabin if you need one. And then down here, you can do the port summary or the day by day. So you can see the times you're in the port. And then let's go ahead and view cabins. Let's just say it's gonna be 2 of us. So you can do Insider, Sea View, Sea Terrace, Rockstar, or Mega Rockstar. Let's just start with Insider. So for the Insider, this is just your simple Insider room. They also have a social Insider, but of course you need to add like another sailor for this to be eligible to be open. And then they have the solo Insider. And then also the Insider lock-it-in rate. So I wanted to show you, I'm gonna try to show you what a lock-it-in rate, the difference between the lock-it-in rate. They don't have it for some reason. Let's see if we can do a Sea Terrace lock-it-in rate. Okay, perfect. Okay, so lock-it-in rates. The difference between a, you know, non-lock-it-in rate is that the non-lock-it-in rates, you can change things on it. Like you can reschedule and, you know, use that credit to another cruise. You can also change names. But with the lock-it-in rates, you're kind of locked in. Like you cannot do anything. It's either you go or you lose the money. Now, I obviously wouldn't recommend this for someone that is not sure like if anything will change in the future. But if you're like, hey, I just want to get on the ship and I want to get in a certain type of room at a discounted price, just know that lock-it-in rates are a great option. I have booked a lock-it-in rate on my last Virgin Voyages cruise, and I booked the Insider lock-it-in cabin. They actually were gonna give me a Sea View cabin, but it was under the Manor, which is the club, and I knew it was gonna be jumping all night, like it was gonna be too loud. So I actually paid for an upgrade to a balcony, and I saved money by doing that instead of booking a balcony, or they call them Sea Terraces, up front. So in this case, if you book the Sea Terrace lock-it-in rate, it's confirming that, hey, you'll have a Sea Terrace, whether it's an accessible cabin, it could be a limited view, but they won't assign your room until closer to the sailing. But you may save some money because if you see right here, right now it would be $22.70, and then it'll be an extra $200 for a limited view or an extra $500 if you wanted just the regular sea terrace. But you may be able to, if the cruise isn't like totally booked up, you may be able to lock it in for $22.70 and then bid for another 200 something for a regular sea terrace, and you save $200. But it's always a risk. Like, you're not guaranteed that they'll even accept your offer. It just depends on timing, your offer, and then how full the ship is. Or it also could be, hey, if your first mate is talking to the people, to Sailor Services, and they say, hey, is there anything available? You never know what they can do. So always have a first mate. Don't just book it by yourself, because you're not gonna have that advocate for you. So let's just go ahead and book that. And like I said, there's gonna have those restrictions right here. And then the good thing about Virgin Voyages is they include everything basically in the fare. So the gratuities is booked into the price. And also the Wi-Fi, you have free Wi-Fi that's included. And so right here for Virgin Voyages, you would have a minimum payment, which is I think 20%. So that's $405, and then the rest is due in August. And then yeah, so like I said, Wi-Fi is included, tips and gratuities, all dining, soda and water, fitness classes, and entertainment. And then you can purchase their voyage protection plan or not. But you can do flex pay, you can do pay 20% deposit, pay in full, or do a hold, which like I said, I always do a hold just so I can be sure that I want to be on the cruise and just think about it overnight instead of just doing an impulse booking. So that is how you would book. You put hold, and then it'll say it's on hold, and then it'll lock you in for, I believe, 24 hours for Virgin Voyages. So let's try another type of booking. Let's say you want to go to Alaska. Okay, so here are the Brilliant Lady Alaska sailings. As you can see, some of them are pretty long. This was 9-day, that one's, well, that's 7 days a normal, and then 10 night. And then you see the pricing here. So I'm not sure where that price went, that $57.06. But yeah, at the moment it is $37.80. We're gonna click on that, and let's say we want 3 people. Then you're able to get, let's say we're gonna click on that, it's 5,600, but now you have the Social Insider option, which brings it up to $63.47, versus if you just book Insider regular, then it's $56.58. And then I'll always try to offer you to upgrade right then and there, just in case you are interested in another cabin. And that is simply how you are able to book a Virgin Voyages cruise. It really is fairly simple. I would say that they do assign your room to you. You can't like look on the deck plan like you can on most other cruise lines and choose your room. It kind of does like the best available. But if you ever needed to change your room, then you can call Sailor Services and ask if a certain room is available if you find the deck plan online and you prefer it. But yeah, that is simply how you're able to book a Virgin Voyages cruise. They do have a 10% pay in full discount if it's paid in full before a certain amount of days before the sailing. So that's an option for here. I don't think 10% is that much to pay it up front, but it's always an option. And then you can always see the fare breakdown right here. It shows you how much it is for each person. You see that third sailor had a discount of about $1,000. And then of course, always included luxury. And then they have the different offers where they'll subtract, a certain percentage with port fees and government taxes, and of course you get your grand total. So that is it. That's how you book a Virgin Voyages cruise. Obviously I didn't do one actually, I just went through the motions for you. But if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below and I'd be happy to answer them. And you can check out my playlist for Virgin Voyages where I went through embarkation day, my sea terrace room tour, all the food I ate on Virgin Voyages, all the vlogs from each day. I went to Key West, Florida and their private island in Bimini. So check those out, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video, and stay tuned because I'm going on a Virgin Voyages cruise soon and I am super excited. It's going to be a nice one. It's a 7-day cruise out of Europe, so super excited about that.